Want to convince 8 billion people that a complete fiction is absolute historical fact? Let's break down the perfect psychological blueprint to automate a global historical deception. Chapter 1. You don't pitch the lie to the public. You leverage the authority bias first. People don't verify facts. They simply trust ancient institution titles and expensive suits. You establish a fictional entity named the Global Historical Heritage Council on paper. A clean website with a premium layout is all it takes to look completely legit. Chapter 2. You need physical proof, so you manufacture a pseudo-archeological discovery. You bury a crudely carved limestone block in a remote desert location overnight. The buried stone artifact features an unverified inscription written in an invented ancient dialect. You name the artifact the Baseline Chronicle to give it instant historical weight. Chapter 3. You launch the citation loop by publishing a self-funded paper online. You reference your own fake counsel and then have 3 alt accounts reference that paper. Once 5 blog posts quote your academic paper, it becomes a valid open source citation. An anonymous editor updates the official global encyclopedia entries using your links. Future university students cite the encyclopedia, and professors cite the student essays. The fiction is now officially locked into the global education system infrastructure forever. Chapter 4. You escalate the campaign by distributing a clickbait press release package. Mainstream news networks copy-paste your text because their metrics demand instant daily content. A major cable network runs a primetime segment with a dramatic graphic overlay. The host reads your exact words, transforming a digital myth into primetime television history. Chapter 5. The algorithmic video ecosystem takes over the distribution loop automatically. 10,000 faceless channels auto-generate reaction clips using AI voiceovers for ad revenue. The search trend hits 50 million short-form views within a single weekend window. Anyone attempting to debunk the narrative is downvoted by users protecting the trend. Chapter 6. A high-ticket streaming platform orders a 6-part docuseries package. They hire Hollywood actors to reenact events that never happened for cinematic value. The narrative is now embedded into global pop culture via multi-million-dollar merchandise. 8 billion people believe the event occurred simply because it has a high-budget soundtrack. Chapter 7. Governments officially update their regional tourism maps to cash in. They build a souvenir shop right next to the empty desert excavation site. They sell plastic replicas of the Baseline Chronicle for $45 a unit. The lie is no longer an idea, it's an active economic infrastructure asset. A real historian attempts to publish a systematic debunking paper with raw telemetry data. The academic publisher rejects it because it contradicts the established institutional consensus. Chapter 8. 100 years pass, and the original digital records are lost. The manufactured narrative is now simply referred to as ancient global history. 8 billion human brains process the data as absolute reality without a single verification step. The speedrun is complete, and your fictional script is officially the global baseline reality. Let's analyze the underlying cognitive vulnerabilities that allow these loops to function. Human psychology is structurally optimized to prioritize consensus metrics over technical source tracking. You think you consume independent information sources, but you are just reading duplicated data. the modern internet infrastructure operates as a centralized distribution funnel for validated consensus. The academic peer review system operates using strict social protection mechanisms. If a researcher challenges an established narrative framework, their funding access is automatically restricted. Digital databases create a false sense of absolute permanent data preservation security. In reality, a single server cloud configuration rewrite can alter historical records instantly. Modern journalism infrastructure is not funded to execute deep source telemetry verification. The entire monetization model requires rapid, daily article output to optimize ad placement. If you repeat an unverified statement 10 million times across distinct digital nodes, the sheer volume of records overrides the brain's baseline structural verification filters. Let's reverse engineer the physical artifact verification loop to spot the exploit. Laboratory analysis software relies on baseline validation database models that can be tricked. By chemical treating the stone with organic acids, you trigger a rapid weathering reaction. The sensor equipment reads the accelerated degradation profile as ancient historical time exposure. The translation team you hired intentionally uses loose semantic definitions for the script. They map your fictional modern concepts to ancient glyph variants to simulate deep historical meaning. The news broadcast creates a secondary confirmation layer that reinforces the academic papers. The public assumes separate groups verified the narrative, unaware it's a single distribution funnel. Congratulations, you successfully engineered a historical event inside 8 billion minds simultaneously. Your prize is an immutable slot in future world history textbooks. Mission accomplished. Let's dissect the wiki edit protection loop to see why it fails. The open source moderation network is governed by algorithmic hierarchies that prioritize citation quantity over field telemetry. By coordinating 50 automated user accounts, you lock the article edit clearance state. Any independent attempt to correct the text is flagged as spam manipulation by the algorithm. Now check the production architecture of the premium streaming content network. The platform development schedule requires continuous engagement growth loops, regardless of raw historical precision. High-budget cinematography functions as a primary truth simulator inside the human subconsciousness. If a viewer sees a beautifully lit historical recreation scene, their brain logs it as structural memory. Let's explore the fiscal incentives of the Regional Municipal Development Authority. A landmark designation creates an immediate hospitality revenue loop that city budgets will actively protect. Local hoteliers and tour companies form a legal lobby to protect the regional brand asset. The economic reality forces the community to defend the historical myth to secure their income. The academic tenure validation pipeline operates as an insulation mechanism for legacy theories. A tenured professor will not approve a research grant that disproves their own published monographs. When you deploy the social trend campaign, the synthetic account network scales predictably. The social nodes are programmed to generate automated engagement metrics to force index ranking optimization. The crowdsourced Open Encyclopedia platform does not deploy physical primary source research teams. The infrastructure relies on secondary corporate media links, creating a profound factual structural vulnerability. Once an entertainment studio spends $50 million producing historical documentary assets, they will deploy heavy legal protection protocols against any researcher attempting to invalidate the copyright text. Automated algorithmic fact-checking software doesn't analyze physical telemetry or source data files. The program simply compares your phrase against indexed web news headlines, confirming the loop. The core takeaway is clear. Increase your verification velocity when processing historical consensus metrics. Analyze the underlying archival chain and track the corporate financial motives behind the distribution pipeline. Isolate the primary physical archaeological data logs from the synthetic media summary reports. Ignore the clickbait primetime headlines and verify the original raw ledger documentation first. That's the end of our global historical deception speedrun tutorial script layout. Subscribe to protect your reality engine, stay rational, and don't trust unverified consensus. Peace out. Subscribe to protect your reality engine. Stay rational, and don't trust unverified consensus. Keep your mind analytical, and see you in the next breakdown. Peace out.